What's up, F.I.T family? Today I'm going to walk you through what a typical Sunday can look like if you're trying to figure out what foods you need to eat throughout the week to fit your numbers. So today I'm going to show you the process, kind of logging some meal preps, plus fitting in the holes and kind of eating foods on the fly and what that looks like. My numbers today that I'm gonna go off of are 165 protein, 250 carb, and 75 fat. I'm also gonna show you the difference between creating a recipe, a food, and a meal in MyFitnessPal and when you would use which. So step one, I'm gonna start with breakfast. Every day I typically have kind of the same thing. And so you can go about it one of two ways. If you have kind of a similar breakfast but not always the same thing, just start with logging what you think you're gonna eat. So Thomas bagel, I'm gonna scan the barcode. Okay, of course, it didn't pop up, so then you just type it in, Thomas, everything but the bagel, bang. I'm gonna double check and make sure it's the same one, 290, that's correct, okay? And then you can scan everything else you're gonna eat, or you can search it, okay? So egg, I'm going to have one, and then same thing, just go through that process, scanning what you're gonna eat. Now, if you're like me and eat a similar breakfast every day, you can save yourself the trouble. Once you log it once, you can do a really handy dandy feature and create a meal. So what I can do is go into my meals, recipes, and foods, and then I can create a meal or a food. And so since I know exactly what the macros are gonna be for that, because I just logged it all in, I can create a food. So I put name, F.I.T, breakfast sandwich, eating one sandwich, and then I just plugged in the protein, carbs, and fats for that, as well as the fiber, because we have our fiber goals, right? And then I can create that food. So now I'm gonna save myself the trouble. I'm gonna click it and hit add to diary. Boom, done. Okay, so then I always have some fruit with my breakfast. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in some berries. I'm gonna go strawberries. I pretty much have 50 grams of strawberries every morning for breakfast. And then I have 50 grams of blueberries or blackberries, depending on what I have. I actually have blackberries, so 50 grams. And then you just wanna make sure that you're adjusting if it's grams, ounces, whatever, to that. So 50 grams there, done. Now for lunch, I meal prepped the pasta, the Banza pasta meal that is in the Facebook group. So I actually earlier created that in a food as well. So I can just click F.I.T spaghetti, add to diary. Once again, it's just in a food that I created based off that recipe. And so now I have that added to my lunch. And then for dinner, I know I'm gonna do this kitchen sink meal, which I meal prepped. And what I did for that is I created a meal. And so the difference between foods and meals, foods, if you already have the macros figured, and you know, like let's say you took the recipe from from like one of my recipes in the Facebook group, you could just pre-plug that in. If you don't quite know yet, you can create a meal. And so I created a kitchen sink, and I just scanned, it's 3 ingredients. So I did the baby potatoes, chicken, and then the mixed veggies. And so if you scan in each and you pick your quantity of that, it'll put it together in a meal. And then you can even take a picture of it, so you can add that in. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that meal. And then for snacks, I already know I'm gonna have one of these protein bars, so I'm gonna scan that in. Okay, and then from there, I know I'm gonna have an Aussie Bite, and I know I'm gonna have a yogurt, so I'm gonna type that in. And then I'm gonna have this protein muffin that I posted the recipe in last week. I still have some left over. So I have already included that into my foods. Start with logging all the meals that you know for sure. So if you have meal preps from a meal prep company, you're going to want to create a food. You can put for the title, the brand. So let's say you're out here in Vegas, type in F.I.T, salmon teriyaki, 1 container. How many do you eat? 1. Look at the label on it, plug in all those numbers. If it's something that you put together daily, like a consistent combination, you're gonna do my meals, and you can put each individual component of that meal together to make that a meal, and then you can just easily add that. If it is a recipe that you're making in bulk, go into my recipes. I have a separate video on how to log a recipe, and go ahead and do that process. And then you can just add your portion of the recipe, however many you need. So my meals, recipes, and foods all come in handy for this meal prepping macro thing to make it really easy, so you're not like doing this process I just did every single day. You can start your week out, and if you're just eating similarly, so like I said, some days I'll do 50 grams of blueberries, some days blackberries, some days raspberries, whatever, but my phone, my MyFitnessPal knows that. And then if I end up having 75 grams, I can just adjust the dial. But the frequently eaten foods are all right there in your MyFitnessPal to easily add. So taking 15 minutes out on Sunday before your week starts, if your fridge is full, like I have 5 of these, I have 5 of these, I have a whole tray of these bars and meat sticks, obviously have my big tub of protein. This is my last muffin, but I'm going to make more muffins today. And then my breakfast I make fresh every day. And then I can add in things like a Greek yogurt with an Aussie bite and fill in those holes. But it's way easier to do it before the week starts than like frantically trying to figure it out day of, and then looking at the end of the day and realizing you ate 50 grams too much fat and you're 60 grams under on protein because you didn't take the time to pre-log and figure it out ahead of time. And then also, if you are like me and some days you leave the house and are gone all day, you can literally take your bag, get a little cooler bag like this before you leave the house, heat a meal, throw it in there, throw your snacks in the outside. I mean, seems like really basic stuff, but adults, I guess, forget how to like be prepared. Yet we prepare for our children to go to school. We pack their lunches, we pack them snacks to go run errands, but we don't do anything for ourselves. So take your water with you, take your little pack. I take this with me even if I'm just running errands for the day. I will eat a meal in the car, take a meal with me, because I don't want to be caught running errands and then go, oh shit, I'm hungry. What drive-through is nearby? That doesn't adhere to my lifestyle. It doesn't get me closer to my goals, and it doesn't keep me in this like prepared mindset, right? It's just, oh, I have a car, I have money, I can figure it out on the fly. No, bullshit. Stick to your goals. So that's kind of the process that I do. It gets easier the more you do it. So if it seems like you're trying to figure out this weird puzzle at first, probably so, because it's new and you have to keep doing it to get better at it. I can pretty much look at my numbers now and go, oh, I need to eat this, 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 and this, and it'll add up perfectly. You'll get there. Just keep practicing. So I hope that helps. Let me know what questions you have on the process, but that's kind of the easiest way to go about it is get all your shit together in a pile, start scanning it in. You'll have better luck if you have internet service and not on a pretend phone for video's sake. And then, like I said, take the time. If you have some frequently put together meals, recipes, and foods, pre-plug them in and then just select, and it'll get easier. So I hope that helps. Happy Sunday. Have a great week.